this time of the COVID lockdown worldwide, but not in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we can have this event together. It's pretty awesome, guys. I know you know what I mean. Here we go. Christchurch! Good vibes, good vibes. We're almost there, we're almost there.
1 minute to go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look. They're coming back already? No, not quite. Once again, a big shout out to Kalina and Elliot. 15 years married. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, we're very, very close. One more thing, this is the last time you'll see me tonight. Thank you so much for letting me be the MC. It's been great. You've been an amazing audience. I encourage you, when you go, please drive safe. There's no big hurry to get out of here. Just look after each other. Have a great year next year. And do your very best to love each other. All right, 20 seconds. I'm rambling now, you can tell. All right, here we go. We're coming down to it, folks. The end of 2020, the beginning of a new year. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
que conviene.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome on board. Happy New Year. That's just a brief and warm hello. Welcome all here today. Wishing us luck on our journey to go and see some whales. So, welcome on board, everybody. It's a very spectacular day to come out. The sea conditions there are alright. It's a little bit of a lazy swell. I'm expecting a little bit of wind a bit later on in the day, but now, it's quite nice out there, but just a little bit of a swell. Going to start with a few introductions. Firstly, your captain today is going to be Captain Pucky. He's upstairs. You'll get to see him when we come to our first stop. But Captain Pucky, he's been working here for many, many years. They'll hold an SCO ticket. You're very safe, experienced and capable hands today. Your watchkeeper for the tour is going to be Tiaki. He's also upstairs, so he's got a few important jobs as well. He's going to be a second set of eyes for the skipper, hoping to point out any obstacles that we may come across. But more importantly for all of us, he's going to be our chief whale spotter. So what that means, folks, is he's going to spend all the tour looking out for anything of interest for us. It also means that we come back in a couple of hours and some of you are bitterly disappointed and crying because we haven't seen anything today. Just remember the name Tiaki. Joining you in the main cabin here today, folks, you've got another captain, Captain Shannon down the back there. You also have Amelia walking up the aisle here, and Annika is here somewhere as well. So they'll be your health and safety officers, making sure you're happy and healthy throughout the tour, going around and having a chat to some of you as well. And kia ora, folks, my name's Alan. I'll be up here on the microphone, hopefully giving you some good information about the area, passing on any messages from the captain and talking about what we see. We've got one more member of our crew. We're all sitting on him at the moment. That's our waka. Today we're on Te Ao Marama. Brand new waka. We only got it just over a month ago. It's maybe just entering the second week of its use. Very, very brand new. Te Ao Marama, translated in English, is a translation for the world of enlightenment. It's also another translation for new beginnings. But the vessel, though, 25-metre catamaran, forward assisted. It's got 4 very big engines in the back, and it's got jet units. So there's no propellers on this boat. It's one big jet boat. So we pick up water, we throw it out behind us, makes it much lighter than people water. Now I need to talk about some of the safety features of the vessel. Firstly, most importantly for all of you, the location of your life jackets. They're under your seat. So in the event of an emergency, you can reach as the Kaikōura Canyon. So we go from relatively shallow water, around about 50 to 150 metres of water depth, right down to over 1,000 metres almost instantly. And inside this deep water canyon, there's two currents that meet. One for the tropics, one for the Antarctic, and they run along the walls of the canyon, and then they come up to the surface, and with them they bring a lot of nutrients from the seabed, and that effectively starts the food chain in this area. So we're quite lucky in this area to have a very productive area that attracts a lot of different species. Right now, folks, what we're probably doing is clearing a bit of weed that may have stuck in the jet units. It should take 30 seconds or so, and then we back up to top speed. But yeah, this area is incredibly productive, and we can see about 20 species of whale and dolphin throughout the year. A few of them are resident species that we see pretty much every day. And we're also one of the seabird capitals of the world, so we do get a lot of species of albatross, petrels, and shearwaters. We also have a Tutton shearwater that is only locally endemic, so it only breeds here in Kaikōura. So we try and point out that as well. But also a chance we'll see New Zealand fur seals out there today, and lately also been seeing quite a few sharks, so we'll keep an eye out for that as well. The blue shark is probably the most common one we get to see in this area. But folks, there's one species of whale that's here all year round, and that's what we focus most of our tours on. And that, folks, is the largest toothed predator on the planet, the mighty sperm whale. So this area is a feeding ground for the males. The females, they find this area a little bit too cold, so they hang out in pods in subtropical, tropical areas, a nice warm place for them to raise their young. Whereas the big males will come to the higher latitudes to feed, and they're trying to eat about 1 ton of food every single day. That's pretty much what we eat in a year. So they don't like to share their food, so typically they're solitary creatures. Now, out of all the whales, these guys are the largest ones with teeth. They've got 40 to 60 cone-shaped teeth on their bottom jaw, each tooth getting up to about the size of this microphone, around 20 centimetres. And they can weigh about 1 kilogram each, so these big whales can have up to 50 kilograms of teeth just on their bottom jaw. Now, they don't use these big teeth for eating krill. Most other species of whales will eat krill, whereas they're baleen species of whales, so they filter feed. Whereas these big sperm whales, they're diving very deep to try and find deep water. So yeah, since you're going so quickly, now we can pick up top speed and get over to where the whale is and hopefully make it before he dives. So what's going to happen, folks, is the captain's going to assess which direction the whale's travelling. We always approach them from the side or from behind. We don't want to confront the whale. And so we're going to view the whale from one side of the vessel. The captain will let me know whether it's going to be the left or the right side, and I'll let you know. But these boats are custom designed, so everyone's going to get a unique view. So you don't want to be standing behind anybody. And also be aware we've got quite a few kids on board, so make sure they've got a front row view as well. But yeah, folks, plenty of room all the way along the windows. You can go upstairs, up the front, get plenty of room for everybody.
Oh, he's blowing. Hey? Yeah. Oh, have it on Zoom. Yeah, yeah. When you're on video. Yeah. Yeah, just yeah. Oh, there's paint.
Okay, folks, head on outside, right side of the vessel. The left door is also going to be open. Move about the boat as safely as you can. Holy moly. And, you can tell straight away that it's him. Oh, actually, he's going to dive, folks. I was going to do that later. But look at his dorsal fin. Maybe one more breath, and he's going to bring up that deep tail, folks. Bye, Holly. Holy moly, folks. Massive high tail shown by that whale there, folks. That was really, really good. Alright, folks, but that's it for Holly. We're going to say goodbye to him. I'm going to move to another area. So could everyone please come back inside, take your seats. We've got one bloke on the front left-hand side of the head, but they do have two nasal passages. The left one is for breathing. It goes from the blowhole to the lungs. The lungs then supply oxygen to the muscle tissue and blood. These whales have very high amounts of myoglobin and hemoglobin in their body. That allows them to store a lot of oxygen in their muscles and blood. A fully grown sperm whale can have about 3 tons of blood on board. And about 90% of the oxygen they'll need comes from air. When they're getting ready for a dive, they'll stop supplying blood to some of their organs, just giving them Here along the roads. So as we cruise back, you'll get a good look at the scarring there and some of the work that's been done. A lot of the work involves setting up fences or catching fences to catch any further slips. Still little bits of rock is still coming down. Not even little bits of some really big bits still coming down. So I will show you some photos from the earthquake very shortly. But So just take this opportunity to look around you, make sure you've got all your personal belongings. If you do forget anything, we'll throw it back on the next available bus, but it's much better if you take it with you now. Very shortly, the crew are going to go outside and just tie up a few ropes. Just while they do that, can everyone please remain seated and I'll let you know when it's safe to get off the boat. But thank you, folks, for coming out with us today. I got to see Holy Moly twice, his big, beautiful tail. I got to see hectares, dolphins, massive albatrosses, a few other seabirds as well, and the New Zealand fur seals. So I really hope you enjoy your trip today. Let's take away some good memories, some good photos as well, maybe a little bit more information about these beautiful creatures. But on behalf of your captain, Captain Pucky, you made it all happen today. Watch Skipper Tiaki, and the rest of your crew on board, Shannon, Annika, Amelia, and myself, Alan. Thank you so much, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your stay here at Kaikōura. Cheers. Thank you very much, folks. Yeah, folks, if you have any feedback about your tour, you can leave it back at the whale watch office. A couple of tablets as soon as you walk in the door, and we'd love to know what you thought about the tour. That's one of the first tours, just the second week that we used this boat, so we'd love to know what you thought about it. And what we to learn and improve. So yeah, folks, your bus is here waiting for you, and I'll take you back to the station very shortly.
Dive with you, mate.